This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it. We are live. We are hitting. We just hit record on our very first virtual session.
Like everyone is virtual for once. Instead of one of us, we're all virtual.
It's not going to be a common occurrence. We're just virtual today because the studio was closed, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no studio input this week. So we hope that this audio sounds okay.
Guys, please forgive us if it is an absolute train wreck.
It's also super awkward speaking on camera. It's like we're in a weird Zoom or Teams meeting and I'm just waiting for someone to turn their camera off and go, just to chime in, yep, understood, or yep, bye, even though they didn't need to be in the meeting.
Yeah.
This is like if we were recording during COVID, this is what we would have been doing. Shall we get into news of what's happened this last week?
I think this Christian Horner stuff is just dragging out the amount of theories that are coming to light about everything. I mean, now they're saying one of the latest rumors is that the woman that leaked this information apparently has deleted all her social accounts and was put on hold leave or something like that within the Red Bull team, but apparently has been dating Senior Verstappen, Max's dad, and it's all because now they want, Marco out and Jose Verstappen. It's super complicated. What do you guys think about it or been saying about it?
And wasn't there something else about Christian Horner wanting to buy the team and went behind Jos Verstappen's back about it all?
Yeah, I saw that.
And then how all the rumours and all the cheating rumours came out by a Dutch news outlet and that maybe it was leaked. And so then there's this whole theory of, is the cheating allegation not true, or is it true? And now Marco and Jos are really frustrated with Verstappen, so they've kind of allowed this to leak to create drama and the potential of Christian Horner being fired, asked to leave, whatever that may be, under the guise of the cheating and not being a stand-up citizen in that sense, rather than the fact that they're just frustrated because he's trying to buy Red Bull.
Well, in the last 12 hours, it's come out in a lot of German publications that Christian Horner has now been asked to step down, which we heard that 2 weeks ago. So it all seems to be going up and down. There's a million rumors out there. And as Alonso said,
it's kind of annoying. I was just going to say it's annoying because every day we finish recording and then something new pops up, because we finished recording last Monday and then that whole rumor came out about how the following day or 2 days later how Christian Horner wanted to buy the team or buy Red Bull.
Yeah, well, Fernando Alonso is now saying, he said in Saudi in all these interviews, he was like, this is all just because the track is boring at the moment. The races are boring. He called it out. He was like, Max is winning. There's no drama on track. So this is what we need.
I don't think this is what we need.
Surely it's a bit. Yeah, I don't think it's what we need either. Surely it's a bit of a reach to have these rumors and storylines flying around just because on track isn't as exciting as it once was. It's a bit dramatic.
I mean, we love a good rumor. We love a good rumor. So at the same time,
but hey, could be part of the FIA president. Maybe he's leaking all this sort of stuff to create some drama for F1 because they need the dosh at the moment because they might be losing a fan base. But hey, he got thrown under allegations as well last week.
He did get thrown under allegations. What was it?
So he was
Saudi GP.
He's
rigged it.
Yes, allegedly being investigated for the 2023 Saudi GP for interfering with
results.
And I think it was an overtake that Alonso did. I'm not quite sure of the details. It seemed to have been hushed quite quickly, but there's a lot of different things that came out. And then apparently he was coming out, the FIA president, saying Max needs to support Christian Horner publicly. It's drama filled.
Sound like Max wants to be supporting Christian Horner. Well, who knows? Next week we'll probably just have another update on the Christian Horner drama. Another thing I thought was interesting was that video that you sent us, Elle, which I had no idea about, how Christian Horner was married before he was married to Jerry Halliwell. Jerry Halliwell then started appearing at races by Christian Horner's side, or progressively got closer and closer to him. And then he decided to leave his wife for Jerry Halliwell, and his mum didn't come to the wedding.
12 months later, he's married. 6 months later, he's got a baby on the way.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is history repeating itself? I'm like, oh, Christian.
Also, the other thing I found interesting was how the female employee was suspended from Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
But isn't it typically in this kind of scenario that both employees get suspended?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
would
not
think.
just one?
Yeah, well, there's just like the power dynamic at play.
They're saying that their investigation is she was suspended because for lying, essentially, and creating something out of thin air. But something isn't adding up, and it's just these
That's
things.
what
I know
happened.
rumors are strong, but there's so much coming out, and the amount of people that just all think those text messages are true, who knows? But also, I want to know who's in the head that like comes up with this theory that, oh, it was actually someone that Jos Verstappen was dating. Like, who, if that's not true, who comes up with that?
Yeah.
Puts that out there on
I
the
know.
internet.
How's the creativity?
And there was like a love triangle between the three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, who came up with that? Who started it?
I'd
Who
like
leaked
to
it?
speak to the person that's spreading these rumors on the internet if they're not true, because it's very creative and it's very convincing.
But it's so easy to be able to create rumors now.
I
Like,
know.
with the power of social media, we could go out and say something and then someone's going to take it, run with it, and just say, well, here we go. Here's some new information. But we just pulled it out of thin air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what other news have you guys seen besides this one taking over our lives at the moment?
I've got actually a little snippet. It's not really news. It was just something that I thought was interesting that I saw on social media. Canal Plus is a French channel, and Grosjean does a lot of work with them, with like their F1, Canal Plus F1 channel. He does like most of their commentating. And he had our good friend Gunther Steiner commentating with him last weekend.
I
which
didn't see
thought was-
that.
yeah.
Gunter would be such a good commentator.
This is what I was saying. I said he needs to go on Sky News.
Yeah. And Gunther and Grosjean is a great team. And some other news this week, we had our first race for the F1 Academy season, which is exciting.
People that don't really know the format for F1 Academies, they actually race twice in one weekend. So they have, I think it's one 40-minute practice session, and then they have 2 qualifying sessions for the separate races.
Yeah, race 1, race 2.
It's 2 podiums, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
And this was their first race, the F1 Academy race of the season. I think the next one is not until Miami, so they have a decent break in between, but it was awesome to see everyone out there, especially like all the teams coming together and having that full support. I think it was a really, collective experience, especially being the first F1 Academy race. I would have liked to see more broadcast, though, I think, from the direct F1 social pages, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough out there.
I couldn't find a broadcast.
It's hard to find.
I basically watched it through.
Yeah. I actually, something that I thought would be interesting to speak about, though, is the points attribution and kind of how the race works, because I thought it was interesting as well. It's only, I think they only did, was it like 15 laps or something? Which is nothing. But yeah, like you had mentioned, Amy, so there's basically across the weekend, there's the 40-minute practice, 30-minute quali, race 1 and race 2, which both go for 30 minutes, which is nothing. And then, so starting grid. So in quali, each driver's fastest lap will set the grid for race 1. The driver's second fastest laps will set the order for race 2. And then in terms of points attribution, so the drivers who take pole position for races 1 and 2 following the final classification of the qualifying sessions will be awarded with 2 points. For both races, the top 10 classified drivers will be awarded 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1 points respectively. And then in each race, 1 point will be awarded to the driver who achieves the fastest valid lap time, providing she was in the top 10 positions of the final race classification. No point will be awarded to the driver who achieved the fastest lap but is not within the top 10 classified drivers in the final classification, or if the leader has completed less than 50% of the scheduled race distance. It's kind of just like a mini version of standard F1.
Doreen Pin that got victory in both races in Mercedes. But then was it her second race where she actually continued to go race pace after the checkered flag?
Yes, she didn't slow down.
Yeah, so apparently there was an issue with the radio and she couldn't actually hear anything. But it's amazing because I've always thought about that. What would happen if the driver just kept racing and they didn't actually realize it was the end of the race? And there you go, you get a penalty and now she's in second.
Yeah.
That's also why you have a checkered flag, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're supposed to see it wave.
Like, was she so focused she just couldn't see the flag?
I think so.
Just so like tunnel vision racing.
Yeah, it was in the first race. She was handed a 20-second penalty, which is a very long time. So Abby Pullen ended up taking her spot, which I don't know if you guys have seen photos of Abby, but Abby Pullen looks like a baby. She drives for Alpine.
It's good that someone from Alpine had a victory on the weekend, because currently Pierre Gasly is sitting 21st on the Drivers' Championship.
Oh, God.
21st out of 20 F1 drivers.
Womp, womp, womp. Yeah, well, I guess that's a good segue into the weekend. I have one thing. Well, actually, two things. One thing is practice related and one isn't practice related. But I don't know if you guys saw all the memes after practice, a few of the practice sessions. I think it was practice 1. Charles Leclerc was like, there's all these rubbish bags flying onto the track.
Yeah.
And all these memes were coming up of like him in a Mario Kart with like the bananas coming.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, coming onto the track.
Didn't Charles actually say it's like Mario Kart out here?
Yeah, he's like, it's like Mario Kart out here. And there was so much, I think, because there's so much wind like that comes from the Red Sea, but it seemed like there was so much rubbish and like debris on the track this weekend. And obviously like a big thing we need to touch on is at the beginning of the weekend, we were informed that Carlos Sainz was not going to be racing because he was struck down with a bad case of appendicitis.
Good old appendicitis. I have a theory on this.
Amy posted this theory on her TikTok and I was just like, I think she's spot on. So Amy, you need to discuss your theory.
Dr. Amy, basically. So I have this theory that, you know how I was saying that tennis players can get tennis elbow, jumpers can get jumper's knee. And like I ended up getting jumper's knee because of the impact I was constantly putting through my knee and just like overuse over time. Sitting on my couch thinking about drivers and how often their body is put under G-forces. And so I've got this theory that appendicitis could be related to the trauma and the force that they're constantly putting their body under. So like you look at appendicitis and it's like a blockage at the top of the appendix. And so it could theoretically, so like the extreme impact of G-forces on the body could impact the body's immune response and potentially influence conditions related to the appendix. So depending on someone's body, it's like everyone's body reacts differently to different things. So and there's been quite a few drivers as well that have had appendicitis. I had someone comment on it, and there's obviously Alex Albon, but he listed like 10 other drivers, not just F1, but motorsport drivers that have all been taken out with appendicitis. So my theory is G-forces can cause appendicitis.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the photo that Carlos Sainz recreated of his dad, Carlos Sainz Sr., who was also out during the season when he was racing with appendicitis. Well, my friend's a surgeon, and I can ask her, Dr. Megan.
Yeah.
This theory, I think you're actually onto something, and I would love to look into and speak to a doctor about the long-term impacts of G-force on your body, because there's got to be some. And there's someone out there studying that for sure. I think it's really interesting. And also, full credit to Carlos, by the way, has his surgery, and then the next day he's back in the paddock.
Limping around the paddock, yeah.
But they have access to the best medical professionals out there. So, although, does that mean he had surgery in Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Or I wonder if they took him somewhere else.
Appendicitis, majority of the time, is emergent surgery. Like, it's got to happen. And, like, you can't fly. So they'd have to do it there. And it probably was a keyhole surgery, and he, you know, was back in the paddock the next day. And now says he's back in Monaco recovering, and is unsure if he'll be in Australia. That is 2 weeks' time. It's possible he could be. That's how long Alex Albon took. So who knows?
Do you think this is maybe he's just a bit scarred from last time? So he's like, I'm not coming back to Australia in a Ferrari car. He's like, I'll be back next year.
This is his way out.
Yeah. He's too traumatized. This is his excuse. Oh, I have appendicitis. I cannot fly.
Cannot come. I'm pretty sure they're all scarred from the race last year, but we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, but that was what I thought. What about quali? What are our thoughts?
Ollie Bierman stepping in for Carlos in qualifying. I just loved the energy he was bringing.
Agreed.
I loved it so much. With all the news and rumour, it was just an energy where he was just so excited and happy and enthusiastic. He was like a little Labrador running around the paddock, just so excited to be there.
He was, bless his soul.
So we need more of this.
I was really excited as well to see him, you know, obviously it sucks for Carlos, but it's really nice to get a rookie and a second driver into an F1 race. We hadn't seen it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know, I remember when we did we've done a little mini series. We did an episode on reserve drivers, and it's exciting because I feel like I didn't know that much. I mean, we don't really learn that much about reserve drivers until we start seeing them on the track. And I personally felt like I didn't know that much about Oliver Bierman. And I was excited. I'm like, oh, what are we going to see? Is he going to be someone that we can potentially see in the future F1, or is he kind of going to sink? And boy, did he deliver this weekend.
Oh, he did. The fact that he is a rookie and only just missed out on Q3 by, what was it, 300th of a second?
Something crazy.
Once again, the pace difference between Alex Albon and Logan Sargent, like Alex P12, Logan P19. Then Oscar Piastri also out-qualifying Lando for the second year in a row in Saudi.
Yeah.
Yuki out-qualifying Daniel. It's like all these first drivers have been out-qualified by the second driver.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. Something in the Red Sea air.
Yeah. I just don't see, after Daniel's like qualifying and his race, I just don't see him going to Red Bull.
Oh God, no. I don't see that either.
It's funny how we all jumped on like the hype train of it last year.
I was speaking to someone over the weekend and he was like, yeah, Danny Ricciardo could go to Red Bull. I was like, no, absolutely not. We know that Checo had a lot of issues there last year.
Yeah, if he was outperforming Yuki and up in the midfield at least, not at the back, then possibly, but he's not performing at all. It's just like his confidence seems shot. And he's such a confidence-based driver. So when he's not confident, he just doesn't perform.
Yeah. Well, I think Elle's having some internet issues, but maybe that takes us into the race.
I just want to talk about Ollie Bierman because I think that race was very kind of boring and average. There were a few fun moments.
Let's only talk about Ollie.
Basically, it's just the Ollie show today. That's it.
It is.
You know, he didn't make one mistake. He had some really good overtakes. He did so well in his tire management. He didn't run them into the ground, and he's just consistent and did such a good job. And then did you see those photos that people were screenshotting of Max's lap and how close he is to the wall?
Yes.
And just looking at those as I'm thinking about Ollie, he's only been in a F1 car during practice sessions, to then have to go out and race at that circuit where it is so narrow and you have to be so precise in your driving. He didn't touch the wall once.
No.
It's like, how did you do that?
Yeah, like he maneuvered the car so well to avoid the wall. I was like, You, my friend Ollie, are
I
fantastic.
know. I loved watching his dad's reactions. His name's David.
Yeah.
David Behrman in the garage.
Yeah, it was
His facials throughout all of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so proud as well. Like he was so proud.
But coming 7th and
Yeah. For those that don't know, so Ollie ended up taking 7th place, which is phenomenal. There was just so many overtakes as well that he did. There was one overtake when he overtook Hulkenberg and he took 9th place from Hulkenberg. I can't remember. It was maybe around lap 47 or something. And Hulkenberg had DRS, and then Ollie then took over. It overtook him, but it was just so good. I was like, how is this guy 18? How many? Maybe he's been in an F1 car. We could count on one hand how many times he's been in an F1 car. He's never actually raced in an F1 race. The youngest F1 driver ever. The youngest Brit to ever race in F1. I cannot believe he came 7th.
He did such a good job.
Such a good job. I think like all eyes are going to be on him now. I know we all know his name now.
It's quite funny with that moment where he was behind Hulkenberg, and he was like, "This guy is so slow." In my head, I was thinking, that might be your car next year. Like, maybe watch what you're saying.
Yeah, true.
And then just the way he kept Lando Norris and Lewis at bay.
Yeah.
Like, imagine looking into a review mirror and seeing Lando Norris and then Lewis Hamilton. And the fact he just stayed composed and got the job done.
Literally.
Was amazing.
Yeah. I did think that was interesting as well at the beginning of the race. I don't know if you saw Lando's jump start. And then Russell was like dobbing him in. Jump start from Lando.
He was like, oh, no, he's jump started. That's it. But like when you looked at the vision, it was hardly an advantage. There was no advantage gained at all. Like if anything, it made his start worse.
Yeah, it did.
The day before, during one of the interviews, they were discussing, one of the journalists was like, what do you think you can do for tomorrow? And he was like, jump the start as a joke. And then jump the start. Now everyone's like, he is a time traveler.
Literally, he is a time traveler. That's kind of scary. Like, Russell's fantastic, but him dobbing him in, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, he's obviously not done that on purpose.
Yeah. He jolted forward, then stopped, and then he was delayed accelerating again. Like, he didn't.
Exactly.
Didn't do a single thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought it was interesting as well. Magnussen crashing into, well, he didn't crash into him, but steering into Albon. And it was just terrible driving from Magnussen. He received a 10-second penalty. And then again, when he was trying to overtake Tsunoda and he left the track, he received another 10-second penalty. I was like, Magnussen, you drove terribly this weekend.
He just, I don't know what planet he was on, but he was just time like he was just on in go-karts. It's like, I don't care. This is so much fun. And then he took Gandalf and doesn't let anyone else finish their race properly, basically.
Literally. We've lost Elle.
Yeah, Elle's disappeared.
Yeah, we've lost Elle. But I know there's a few things, but she also did touch on Kevin Magnussen's driving and it just looked poor. And yeah, she said, you watch his hands and he just flicks it and it looks like a bad move and you can tell why Alex was pissed. And Elle, we agree with you. You can see, I think afterwards when they did the replay, it was like, I don't know, did he have a nervous tick or something? Not great. Also, Lance's crash. That was about halfway through the race, I think.
Yeah, lap 7.
Yeah, it was early on, right? Yes, it was early on.
Yeah, and he made the same mistake earlier on in the weekend as well, which is disappointing. But
did he?
Well, he was having a decent race as well. Into the wall he went.
Shame. Our friend Jack wouldn't be very happy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in and out. I think my internet's really bad. But did you see when Lance's team said to him after his crash, can you bring the car back? And he was like, fucking hell, no, the car's broken. I mean, the wing's fucking on the road.
Yeah. Elle, while we've got you, was there anything that you wanted to add?
On Lance?
Or just in general? I know that you didn't give your 2 cents about Ollie.
I think Ollie was absolutely fantastic, and to get points on his debut and also being, the third youngest driver ever to race in F1 was incredible. I, like Amy said earlier, his excitement levels were so enjoyable to watch because I think a lot of the drivers are sort of just frustrated at the moment. They either don't like their car or they're just frustrated that Max is always winning. So they're kind of like, where is the excitement for us? We're not really getting that from a lot of them that usually we would at the start of the season. They're giving off energy like they're at a triple header and it's the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting. But I thought it was hilarious when Ollie was like, talking about Nico being slow. And I just thought, imagine Nico hearing those comments from an 18-year-old, someone that's debuting in an F1 race, and being told as a veteran of F1 that you're slow.
Yeah.
It would just be the most...
The biggest slap in the face.
I don't know. Yeah, the biggest slap in the face or something like that.
But then also the
Yeah,
fact that Ollie could take that seat next year.
I also want to take a moment in Saudi and for their trophy. Can we talk about a proper trophy, especially after seeing, when we compare it to the Japanese trophy last year, which was, very high tech and you touched it and it appeared as your country colours. But the trophy that the Saudi Arabians produced was incredible.
I like Max Verstappen's. It was this big fuck off thing. But then Charles's looked so small next to it. Like,
so teeny.
I'd like if I got the first place trophy.
But that's the idea of a trophy system, right?
Yeah.
That the first place is always supposed to be this big grand thing. And it was that. I mean, they were saying, Crofty was making a joke how Max is going to need his own new cabinet just for that trophy because it was so big.
And he's like, can he check it into oversized items on his private plane?
Yeah.
It kind of looked like a weapon though. Like if you were to sit on that, it wouldn't be good. Because it sprouted out.
Yeah, like a little fountain.
But all in all, thoughts on the race, guys?
It wasn't as exciting as I hoped.
Wasn't as good as what you hoped, yeah.
And considering the last few years as well that we've had red flags and there wasn't a single red flag.
No, there was one after Lance's crash. Wasn't there?
No, that was just safety car.
Oh, was it? I thought there was a red flag.
No, we just had the safety car because then that's also when Lando, Max had gone into pit, so Lando led his 4 laps.
Yes, he did.
Only 2 drivers to lead.
You are right.
Lando's one of them.
Where we did see some excellent driving also was Lewis and Oscar's battle.
That was
in the middle of the race. That was really well done. Oscar held off Lewis. Lewis held off Oscar. It was clever driving and that felt exciting to see. And that's the sort of driving that I've been missing lately.
Yeah.
And it was good to see, an Aussie battle a Brit for that. I mean, Crofty kept calling, brilliant Berman. And it sort of felt a bit English bias. Everyone's saying, we had 4 Brits on the grid there. It's a new One Direction, all this sort of crap. And I was like, nah, here's the Aussie coming out in full force. And for Oscar to get 4th was super exciting. And I nearly got my prediction. I put in Oscar as 3rd. So if Charles hadn't got it, it would have been mine.
I got my prediction.
I didn't. I don't think. No, I didn't. Because I think I had Oscar. I have Oscar up there as well.
I feel like I half got it last week too, but because I predicted for Bahrain, I predicted Checo. I predicted Verstappen, Checo, and Charles, but it was Verstappen, Checo, Carlos. But I thought I saw something funny. It's like memes that came out after the race, and they were talking about how, how good Oliver did, and he, like Ferrari, looking at the fact that Oliver came 7th and beat the driver that they're going to be putting into the seat next year. Like he beat Lewis Hamilton by 2 points.
When Ollie gets out of his car and Lewis is hugging him, and it's kind of like, thank you for proving to everyone that this will be my car next year and that it's going to be fast.
Do you think anyone at Ferrari is thinking, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't sign Lewis? Like, I would much prefer to see Ollie go to that second seat rather than Lewis go to Ferrari, personally. Controversial.
Nah, I think Lewis. Yeah, no, I think Lewis really deserves that seat because I think it'll be a great way for him to finish off his career.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it or anything, but it's just be so nice to actually see a new, fresh, upcoming talent in the sport again because it's been quite a few years.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would love Oliver to take someone's seat. I'd love to see him on the track, but I think he needs to do maybe some hard yards first before he ends up at Ferrari. Throw him in a Haas for a little bit.
Earn your horse.
Earn your place.
Elle's speaker's gone.
Well, we've lost Elle again, but yeah, I mean, I think all in all was a pretty good weekend. I think the best thing about the weekend was seeing Ollie and yeah, and I think like it's a good track. It's a fun weekend. It's
one of the fastest tracks on the grid, one of the hardest. So it's always going to be a good race, but it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
No, Oliver brought the excitement.
I got so nervous.
Yeah, so did I.
I feel like everyone, like globally, felt like his older sister or like mother or father.
Yeah, agreed. But he did us proud.
But we have no race this weekend.
Yeah, no race this weekend. We've got a little break before things come to our hometown.
Down under. I'm so excited.
Down under. So excited. Yeah, lucky that we have the weekend off this weekend because I think we're all going to need it before the mayhem that is GP week.
Yeah, it's going to be
wow, are we excited.
Insane. And I was just, we'll obviously do a pre-race next week before it all starts.
Yes.
But it's like we haven't seen any red flags this season yet. But hopefully the wrath of Australian GP red flags comes back out again.
Well, I think, and I could be wrong, so if any listeners out there want to correct me, but I feel like last year AusGP was the race that we saw the most red flags in all season. Am I right? Was it Baku that we saw more? Regardless,
I actually don't know, but there was a lot of red flags, a lot of restarts, cars on fire.
A lot of restarts, yeah. Angry drivers.
Very angry drivers. Angry team
and
principals.
3 Paddock 43 members all drinking lots of champagne. But yeah, I guess we'll do a race preview next weekend, in next week's episode. But ahead of AusGP weekend, the three of us will fortunately be there across the 4 days.
4 of us, including
who?
Your baby.
Oh yeah, true. The 4 of us. Yep. Yeah, or 3.5 of us will be there across the 4 days. It's going to be a fucking big week for us.
Yeah, wouldn't want it any other way.
No, absolutely not. We're not allowed to do a live coverage, but we'll have lots to provide everyone. But anyway, we're chewing your ears off. So, anything else, Ames?
I was going to say, remember about our Paddock 43 competition, everyone?
Yes. You want to head across to our Instagram page if you haven't already, but also if you have. The more entries, the better. Like photo, tag someone in the photo. You'll see, we should probably repost it again, actually, the comp photo. Yeah. Like, tag someone, follow, and you will go in the running of winning 2 tickets to the AusGP.
And who doesn't want to win free tickets?
Exactly, especially they're, I reckon, the hottest tickets on the market, hotter than Taylor Swift tickets.
I agree. We're going to announce it on the podcast.
Yeah, I reckon we should. Yes. I think we should announce it maybe on our next episode.
Next episode we'll announce our winner.
Yep. We could do it live as well. We'll do it live. We should do a live on the Instagram, and then everyone can watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be recording the podcast and actually stream live as well.
Yes. Yep. Love it.
Love it. Yeah.
Great idea. But thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
I'll see you next week. And Elle says bye. She's cut out, but she says bye. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.